Hi, my name is Catherine Renton and this is Searchlight Newspaper. This is part 3 of an interview with Professor Richard Robertson and volcano seismologist Roderick Stewart at the Belmont Observatory on Saturday, April 17th. Please feel free to check out parts 1 and 2 on Searchlight's Facebook page.
Every time there was an explosion, which we sort of expect. But then here, this is the count of VT earthquakes, volcano tectonic earthquakes. This is the count of long periods. So we had the VTs in the early days, we've got a few since, but since about the 12th of April, is it? We've had mainly these long periods. And the interesting patterns, like there was a real build-up there before that explosion. Similar build-up. And then they were sort of flat between the explosions. And now, and we're really only talking in the last 12, 24 hours, the level seems to be dropping off, which can be interpreted different ways, but the feeling is that it does represent a lessening of the forces that are involved. Okay.
And how does that compare with the gas reading?
But the thing that drives these LPs is we think connected to the gas, the gas coming out of the solution. So it seems to be that maybe there's less gas, or it's doing it less violently. This is a.
I just wanted to say that plot. What would you say that plot is really cool scientifically? What he's doing is that he's overlapping various different things, so we get one picture. And one of the things that you try to do when you monitor is combine things. And often they will be all separate, so it's difficult to see it.
Yeah.
That nicely. Rod is famous for coming up with plots like that. That sort of captures everything in one space, so that you can kind of conceptually see what's happening. That particular one is really cool.
No, I'm really proud. I'm really proud of
You
you.
can almost come to all the explosions. You see, it makes sense scientifically what is happening. You can come to an explosion.
Because one of the real challenges in this job is trying to do science with incomplete data.
Yeah.
Like the stations disappear, the things do that. Sometimes trying to work out how to manage things. So this top plot, I've actually got a blue line and a black line because they're different stations. Mm-hmm. But I've thought out a way that I can sort of combine them and show them both sort of thing. But yeah, it's a good picture of what's going on.
So it makes sense that if you think of what's happening, something that had gas got the system going. And to come up, it had to break the rock to come up. So that's why you see at the beginning, you have VT earthquakes. And then that then led to the tremor that Rod said, right?
Yes.
And the tremor got into bandit tremor, right?
The bandit tremor
you can see all this noise that's going on there before you then have the explosion. And the peaks and the explosions.
Yes.
And then the explosion, well, I think it's 29 when you count it up.
So I don't know, I've lost count.
But it makes sense that after they finish, you then start to have these hybrid things,
long periods,
which suggests that it's run out of a little steam. It can't do the big explosions anymore. So it's kind of getting a bit sluggish. And so we see the movement.
And also the time between the explosions. So early on, they were very frequent.
Yeah.
But it's getting longer between each of these red triangles. Okay, so there's a period here when they were almost exactly 13, 14 hours apart. But the gap there, that was 32 hours.
Yeah.
So the fact that the gaps are getting longer is another indication that it's sort of running out of puff.
It's not done yet.
It's not done yet. No. Because the thing is, the longer it waits, maybe it's easy in retrospect to say what was going on. But this is trying to keep a good picture of what's going on. A figure like this is very important.
Can you speak a little bit more about the long period and the hybrid earthquakes?
Right.
Because the VTs are the rock.
A rock breaking, yes.
So what was the long period and the hybrid?
Okay, so I mean, people publish papers and things on these and try to work out what the mechanism is. But the accepted mechanism is that it's a resonance of the conduit. The conduit's the tube that the magma comes up, so it's fluid. And it's basically being excited by something, perhaps a gas coming out, and the whole thing is resonating, like if you hit a pipe that will resonate at a frequency. And the long period actually refers to the frequency of the resonance, and you can do calculations, and they roughly come out at the dimensions you'd expect for a magma conduit. So they've got a very different mechanism that generates them, and we see a very, very different waveform on them. I mean, a large part of my job is just looking at these waveforms, and it's very easy to tell the difference between a long period and a VT. A hybrid, which we often talk about, is something that seems to combine a bit of both. And I'm not very happy with the whole idea of hybrids at the moment. We've got some observations here that are wrong. But that's the other thing we do in the back of our head. We're monitoring this volcano, we're collecting information, but we're also scientists. We do research, and we're trying to place this in the context of other research, other volcanoes. And so this classification, long period hybrid VTs, is done around the world. But I'm now sometimes questioning that classification. And so maybe at some time after this calmed down, might have time to publish a paper on that. I don't know. We're university employees, we're encouraged to publish, we're encouraged to do research. But at the moment, our focus is really on the monitoring and getting the science to do that monitoring.
So, were you behind the name of your pet pig?
I'm still not sure what the name of the pet pig is.
I thought it was.
I think it's Trevor.
It was referred to, in one of the posts it was referred to
But it's rather
as Trevor.
It's rather take the picture.
That's in the picture.
Yeah.
But someone called it Trevor, which I actually prefer because it's a female pig,
Oh,
and therefore it shouldn't be called Trevor.
It's Trevor. It's called.
Trevor. Well, that was Ilias came up with that name. Yeah. We do spend quite a lot of time having banter type conversations, talking about things like that, or we have a young student who's working with us. She's the butt end of a lot of our jokes. No, because we're living in very close proximity to each other, and you have to get on sort of thing. So sometimes we have humorous conversations, or the fact that we've got a pet pig running around. Gives you something else to think about.
It's our food supply if we run the food.
Yeah.
They don't like to hear that.
No, that's why we.
That's why you both. Yeah.
Professor Robertson, I was wondering though if it's not your first time as a volcanologist working with Soufriere as it's exploding.
It's my first eruption at Soufriere, yes.
Yes.
But last time I was a 6-month student, I think. Yeah. That's why I got into volcanology, because of this eruption last time. So it's the first time. Yeah, I didn't expect to see this in my lifetime.
No, it's again.
It's amazing. And erupting like that, it's kind of quite impressive.
This eruption has taken our breath away by the extent. Yeah. The amount of ash affecting the whole island is something that wasn't really expected. And it's a different style of eruption to the 79, 72.
What are the differences? Because I wasn't around and I know some people.
You need to ask Professor Roberts.
No, it's a matter of scale. So, we used to frequently erupt like this, but given the science, given the studies we had done, it looked like it was moving into more frequent and small eruptions. So, if it's followed that pattern, this should have been a small eruption, not a bigger one. And this one is looking like it's going to end up to be probably at least 19 or 2 or bigger. It's certainly bigger than 79. And certainly initiation of it when it went on for like 2 days of non-stop.
Well,
you guys started to stop, but we here, it didn't stop.
Yeah.
It didn't stop.
Well, there was that, and there was the phenomenal dome growth at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is something else that we did not expect.
Within overnight, when the evacuation was called, because we had a camera at the summit, which is no.
I suspect it's no longer there.
So how much expensive equipment have you lost, do you think?
It's not that bad. It's going to be worse, and we expect it to be worse. Usually, when you put all these things, you expect attrition. You expect you put out 8 stations, you expect 5 of them or 4 of them survive last time. And in this case, because the patterns that was recognized is duplicated, and the number of stations, the fact that we lost 1 or 2 I mean, Rod will tell you that he thinks that we could probably just once
I would say we just need
once
one.
SPV continue running, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But also, I mean, we've had assistance. I mean, Trinidad has got equipment that's being brought up. We've had aid from the US who've donated some equipment, some stations. Other of our partners around the world have been looking at how they can help us with equipment. So it's attrition. It's normal to lose some equipment.
yeah,
So
we were able to, as Rod said, we have equipment to put out once we can put it out. So the idea usually in these things is that you put stations out, you capture when it starts, and you know you're going to get some trash, and when you get a chance, you put out more to keep going, and well, that's the general plan.
That's going to be a risk, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. So it's a risk.
we've been working here since, is it January we came? First week we came?
Yes, January.
So we've been here for a month or so deploying the network. So it's not just reacting to the eruption. So we had quite a lot of good stuff in place for
before we sort of got going fully.
and that's really good. Because I mean, other places I've been, networks have been totally destroyed by the eruption, and then you have to put in new stuff, and there's a data gap. You're actually missing crucial data. Here we've got all the crucial data during the eruption, which is really good.
But the network is not. So this is the stuff that Rod showed you with the seismics. That's the real time ongoing. That's the kind of core thing. But there are other elements of the network. So because we are part of a larger team, so there are other aspects of it that sort of managed by people in Trinidad or in Montreal. So you have some points. You must have heard about GPS and ground information. We have some points on the volcano. Well, only two left. Two volcanoes, right? I think there's a station here, the summit. And what's the other one?
In Johnson.
Johnson, right. Yeah, Johnson. But we also had one on the summit. That's the same summit station that got trash.
What happened to your campaign stations?
They're probably still there, but they need
new batteries.